Well, Amy, thank you so much for joining me back just to talk about how we can better learn how to increase your student engagement in your classroom. And I remember last time we met, you talked about just wanting students to be more engaged because we moved from being virtual to fully face-to-face and virtual, so more of a hybrid thing. And I still have some students that are just lacking their ability to be engaged in the classroom.
Yes, it's true.
They'd rather do other things, or they're distracted, or they're just not interested in the assignment, whatever it may be. And so we talked about a checklist to increase student engagement and what that looks like. Okay, so do you want to tell me a little bit about kind of what we discussed with the checklist? Yeah.
Begin to finish. Okay.
Begin
All
to
right.
finish.
Yes, I would love to tell you about the checklist. The first thing that I try to get students to do to engage them is when they come into my classroom, there's nothing worse than a crusty old warm-up waiting to be done. So I ask them to be prepared by having all their materials ready, and the first 10 students in their seats with their materials, and they're holding them up. It's their text and their pen, because we only write in pen, and then I record their names on the board, the first 10 people in there that have satisfied this requirement. And then to get your name on the board means that you're one of the first 10 people that get to answer it. However, sometimes the warm-ups are like, they're challenging, and so sometimes those 10 people aren't guaranteed the answers. Sometimes it goes on for a while and multiple people get the chance to try to answer the question. But the reward for the correct answer is candy. So everybody's interested in getting the prize. But in addition, the warm-ups are fun and challenging. So everybody wants to be part of the smart crowd and say, yeah, I got that one. You know, so the candy's the icing on the cake for that one.
Absolutely.
So what else?
Okay, so on the checklist, we added that kind of throughout class to get more students engaged, we would implement a game. Now, this isn't just any kind of game like quizzes or Kahoot. We've played those, and they've kind of become monotonous now because we've done them so many times through virtual learning. So what we'd like to do is kind of play student A shares, student B shares their answers, and then we have a judge that kind of gets to determine who has the strongest answer, not necessarily the best answer, but that's just more strong and more fitting for the question that's being asked. And so how do you feel about implementing that sort of game in your class?
That would be awesome, because sometimes they have to go deep into the text to answer a question, and sometimes people do a surface dive, and sometimes students go super deep. And so for the depth and complexity of the question and the knowledge, I want students to dive deep for it. But how do you know how well you've answered a question until you hear how somebody else answered the question?
Right.
So I like that idea of having somebody to pick out the stronger text evidence to support what's there on the page. That's a great idea.
Good. I'm glad you like it. So you would like to implement that in your classroom? Okay. Wonderful.
I think I'll call it judge and jury. What do you think about that?
Judge and jury. I love it. Okay. So, okay. What would be the best way for me to model the game judge and jury for you? Would it be through me modeling in my classroom and you coming to see that with my students? Or would it be me recording a video and you having time later to kind of sit and watch and reflect on that?
Video. That sounds perfect.
Okay.
I like that idea.
Good.
Because then I can watch it at my leisure. I can pause it. I can go back. I can look at it again. I can analyze it. I like that idea.
Okay. Wonderful. Okay, so what I'll do for you is, because sometimes a video can be a little confusing if you don't have context for what's going on, so I will type that out for you so you kind of have directions on how to implement our game judge and jury, and then you can see it in action, and then you'll get an opportunity to implement it yourself. So
I'm excited about this.
I will have that video for you by, let's see, the middle of next week, so just a week from today. And then when would you like to implement this practice? I know we're about to go on Thanksgiving break, so.
As soon as I see the video.
Okay.
You know, I want to see what that looks like. And then, so I can make sure that I know what you're doing is what I want to do. And, you know, I can tweak it as needed or whatever.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
as soon as I can in class, I want to do that.
Okay.